This film's got me so conflicted. This film's got me so conflicted. Well, here's my review. Well, that was cringeworthy. Hello everybody, welcome again to the Spikehead podcast for another review where this time we'll be looking at the Lego Movie 2, the second one. It's directed by Mike Mitchell and stars Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnet and Tiffany Haddish. And this film follows directly on from the first one where Will Ferrell and his son reconnect and Will Ferrell thinks, hey, why don't your sister come down and play? And that has caused the world to become very Mad Max Fury Road-esque, and during a 5-year period, they go into this toughened world, but Chris Pratt's Emmett will not grow up at all. But he is kind of forced to when General Mayhem comes down and abducts Lucy, Batman, Unikitty, Spaceship Guy, and the Pirate Guy. So with the help of a Han Solo-esque character, Rex Dangerfield, Emmett has to go across to the sisters' part of the house, or part of the universe, to save his friends. All the while, his friends are trying to figure out what's actually going on with this side of the world. Starting off with some positives here, the animation is brilliant. It has really stepped up from the first film from a few years ago. And I do like the fact as well that they do actually have some stop motion animation in this. It's a very small scene, but it is very much appreciated to see this stop motion because that was all the rage back on YouTube about 10 years ago. There are these musical sequences that play with animation very well. There is a character called Queen Whatever Wannabe, and she can basically take the form of anything she wants, and she basically becomes the scene. And these musical sequences are truly amazing to watch. Are some of my favourite parts of the film, particularly a musical number that addresses Batman's fragile ego. Speaking of Batman, I don't know how they're still doing it, but 3 films in of him being in it, they are still coming out with fresh Batman jokes that are always funny to laugh at. I just really enjoy Will Arnett's Batman. He's probably one of the better Batmans out there, and he's bloody animated. Like, that is a fantastic feat, to say so the least. I love seeing him on screen, as well as Rex Dangerfield. He has a lot of fun as this rebel without a cause style character. He's got a shit full of raptors. He is voiced by Chris Pratt as well as Emmett. I just appreciate the subtle jokes in this film as well, particularly with the raptors, where 2 of them are named Connor and Ripley. Love that, just because I just love seeing 2 of the queens of cinema being addressed in this way. And that character I just mentioned, that can turn into anything she wants as well. She is a lot of fun to see on screen. She is always someone I look forward to seeing popping up. Her scenes with Batman are absolutely fantastic. I really do enjoy that character as well. But I will say my biggest positive for this film is the message for kids. It is a very heartfelt message. I didn't think they'd be able to top the one from the first film, but this one really does hit home in many ways. It addresses conflict. It addresses that it's okay to not be awesome all the time. It's okay to sometimes be down and a little bit sad, which is really good in my opinion, especially with mental health being a big talk of the town at the moment. It's something that really did save the film for me. Like, this film, I'll get into it shortly, but there were a lot of things it does wrong for me, but the message in the last half hour, absolutely powerful, and I absolutely adore it. Going into those negatives though, there are some very bad, heavy-handed jokes in this that are very outdated. Like, get animated films take a long time to make, and jokes do come and go like weekly at this point, thanks to the internet. But bashing Twilight stopped being funny about 10 years ago. I forgot that film existed until this character pops up on screen. He's literally a glittery vampire that makes many references to how he can say how they can't be together, but he loves them. That is a frustrating scene to watch, as well as the old, oh, there's a male and female character, and this character's going to point at how the female did all the work, where the male just got all the credit for it. Come on, there were many characters in that first Lego movie. I like to think Unikitty was the MVP of that for her rage mode, which, speaking of which, Unikitty's rage mode in this is fantastic. She is always in rage mode. It's brilliant. But anyway, going back into the negatives, I don't like that kind of joke either. And there are just some really heavy-handed ones as well, especially in the middle of the songs. There's this weird Bruce Willis joke that keeps popping up. While I appreciate some of the references, there are a few things I'm just like, why are these jokes in here? They do a lot of pop culture referencing, but it does it very soulless. It's almost very Emoji Movie-like with how soulless some of these pop culture references are. You want to know how to make a good pop culture reference, look at things like Guardians of the Galaxy or Ready Player One. They did it really well and integrated more into the story, whereas A lot of these ones were, hey, remember this? Or you get this. Thumbs here. Look, you get this. Remember this? There was also a very, very criminal underuse of Spaceship Man and Unikitty, two of my favourite characters from the first one, are ridiculously underused in this. At the start, Unikitty is prominently there, but after that, her and Spaceship Guy are just side pieces, just pop up every now and again to remind us they exist. They're just recognisable faces from the first one. That's the only reason they are still within this film. We even get Good Cop, Bad Cop back in this for like one scene. And he's called Scribble Cop now. I don't know. It's a wacky one. And some of the characters are really underused. As much as I love the new characters that are introduced, it means that some of the older, more favourable characters get less screen time and less fun. The first hour was such a pain to get through. As well as the meta pop culture references. There's so many brooding jokes that they're funny at the start. Cause like, they make these jokes. And I'm just like, I feel personally attacked, but I get it, it's funny, but then it keeps going. How many times can you make a broody joke? It's just not inventive or creative at all, in my personal opinion. I don't know, there's just something about it that really bugged me. There's something very soulless about this first hour. That it's very choppy, very jumpy, tries to be too meta at times and too pop culture referencey at times, and that does hurt the film quite a bit for me. Also, when you see the end of the film, some of the actions of some of these characters in hindsight make no sense. I get it's a kid's film, but I like narrative sense in my films, unless it's like a wacky film. Lego Movie, adults and kids are going to watch it because it's a recognisable brand that's been around for decades. So make a little bit more sense in your character development, because some of them make really questionable decisions when you realise their ulterior motives and their overall character by the end. Performance-wise, I will say Will Arnet and Tiffany Haddish are definitely the best two parts of this film. Will Arnet is exceptional as Batman, and Tiffany Haddish is a great little bounce-off with Batman. When they were together on screen, I know these people didn't meet in real life properly, but these two characters interacting off each other and the banter and the back and forth they got going, I really enjoy that part of the film as well. Chris Pratt does double duty in this, and I really enjoyed his role as both this shy, awkward, funny Emmett and this badass Rick Dangerfield character. He was a lot of fun to watch. I love how he was just doing double duty. He's just really entertaining to watch. Chris Pratt is a good actor. I just feel like he does better in these voice roles just because it's easy to forget it is him. Another performance I really enjoyed is Richard Ayoade. He plays this ice cream butler, sort of. Basically, it's the Queen's Alfred, this character. And he is so sarcastic and so chill. He's a lot of fun to watch. He doesn't have many lines, but when he pops up with these just smart little one-liners, these breaking up the awkward tension kind of moments, he is really fun to hear. Overall, I will say Lego Movie 2, the second one, is a fun follow-up to the first one. Though I will say if it wasn't for the last half hour teaching kids lessons and life lessons kind of deal, it would get a low rating because it's very soulless for the first hour and a lot of the jokes are outdated or ham-fisted and it doesn't really work. Though I do appreciate the animation. There's some great new characters introduced. I love how they're somehow managing to keep this Batman fresh even after 3 films there. It's not as good as How to Train Your Dragon 3. I think that's the better animated film. That's ahead of me in terms of animated films this year. But Lego Movie 2 does do things right towards the end. It's just very messy at the start. Overall, if it went for the last half hour, I would say it would be a lukewarm tea. But because of that last half hour, I'm going to bump this straight up to needs more sugar. So guys, have you all seen the Lego Movie 2, the second one? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And if you do like what I do on this channel, feel free to subscribe over here and see my latest reviews over here. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will get through to Green Book eventually. I'm not sure when that review will be coming out, but this will be my last one for a couple of days, I think. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoy and hope you have a wonderful day. This is That Spikehead Podcast, signing off.